Good morning, everyone. This is Charalambos Pissouros, Senior Analyst at IronFX, bringing you the morning comment for the 22nd of March. Fed Presidents Lockhart and Williams strike a hawkish tone. Yesterday, two Fed Presidents, Dennis Lockhart and John Williams, stated that given the resilience of recent US data and inflation expectations, interest rate hikes may be justified at the upcoming meetings. The remarks come less than a week after the FOMC remained on hold and halved its rate hike projections for 2016. Both officials signaled that they supported the decision to stay on hold in March, given the global risks, but maintained the view that the US economy is progressing in line with the committee's December expectations. These two presidents are non-voting members, so we will take their comments with a grain of salt, as their opinions may not directly influence Fed policy this year. If we were to see more Fed speakers striking a similar tone in coming days, expectations for the next hike may come forth, something that could support the greenback. In any case, we keep the stance that the most likely scenario is for the officials to carry out just one rate increase this year, which is likely to come in September or December, in our opinion. Today, Canada's finance minister will unveil the government's much anticipated budget, which is expected to include massive fiscal stimulus and is seen as a long-term investment in Canada's economy. Thus, we expect that the reaction in the Loonie will depend primarily on the size of the deficit, which is expected to be around 30 billion Canadian dollars. That said, we have to warn that the expectations for a sizable budget are already quite high, leading us to believe that the risks on the Canadian dollar are tidal to the downside. A budget that is simply in line with expectations may have a limited positive impact, while any under-delivery could push the currency off the cliff. As for the indicators, during the European Day, we get the preliminary manufacturing and service sector PMI data for March from several European countries and the Eurozone as a whole. The market pays more attention to the manufacturing PMIs, so any improvement in this data could support the euro at the release. However, almost all of the bloc's PMIs have been in a downtrend lately, a factor that may have contributed to the need for the aggressive easing package introduced by the ECB recently. Therefore, any further weakness in the coming months may give additional evidence that the euro area's economic recovery is losing momentum. From Germany, we also get both the major sentiment surveys for March, the Ifo and the ZEW surveys. Both the ZEW indices are expected to have improved, while the Ifo survey is expected to see only its expectations index rising. The Ifo current condition index is expected to have declined, perhaps reflecting the impact from the recent financial turmoil on Germany's exports. Nevertheless, the improvement in the expectations indices could suggest that both businesses and economists believe that the worst is over, and that the impact of the turbulence may gradually recede in coming months. Overall, this data could cause the euro to add to the possible gains made after any improvement in the PMI data. In the UK, the CPI for February is due to be released, and the forecast is for the headline figure to have accelerated to 0.4% from 0.3% previously, while the core rate is expected to have remained unchanged at 1.2%. A possible acceleration in February's data may imply that the underlying trend of inflation is indeed in a rising mode, which could cause cable to reverse some of Monday's losses and perhaps trade back above 144. However, having in mind how close Brexit polls have been lately and that the uncertainty going into the ballots may increase further, we would stay cautious on the pound's recent recovery. From the US, we get the preliminary Markit manufacturing PMI for March. The index stands above the 15 barrier and expectations are for a rise. Nevertheless, we expect the reaction in the dollar to remain somewhat limited at the release, since the market generally pays more attention to the ISM index due out next week. We have only one speaker today, Chicago Fed President Charles Evans. For more information, including technical analysis, please read the full comment on IronFX.com or download our app and get all the information you need to trade. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or circle us on Google Plus to get more trading ideas. This is Charalambos Pissouros, Senior Analyst at IronFX, wishing you solid trading.